Let's talk about sourdough. So, this is something that's been around for like, I don't even know how long. It's been around for centuries, I'm assuming. And recently, if you start looking at sourdough things online, they'll tell you that there's all these rules. And I personally, I don't believe that it's as hard as the internet is making everything out to be. So, well, I am currently writing out some of my recipes and how to make a starter and stuff for a friend of mine. I thought it'd be fun to just do a video about how to make your own. So, I've got my handy dandy recipe box here, and I will go to the sourdough, flip through them, sourdough starter. So, let's get through it. It's not very hard to make a sourdough starter. All you really need is water and flour, something to hold it in. I like to use a kitchen scale because I'm not very good at understanding the consistency of what I'm supposed to have. I will tell you what works for me. It might not work for you. Every single kitchen is different. Every single environment is different, and every single person is different. So I'm just going to talk about my experience with it, and maybe it'll inspire somebody to give it a shot. Because honestly, once you start eating things that you've made with sourdough, like, there's no going back. There's no comparison. So I like to use a jar. Any jar will do. Glass is my preference. I've got a much bigger one that is my, like, everyday starter. And maybe we'll get into that one day. But for now, this is how to make your own sourdough. So my kitchen scale I got from Amazon. I think it was like $35, and I couldn't live without it. Personally, I love it. So what you want to do is you want to take your clean jar, put it on your scale before you turn it on. If you already have your scale on, that's fine too. You just press tare. So we're going to turn it on. We're going to make sure that it's at grams, and we're going to make sure it's at 0. Now, for day one, my sourdough starter recipe says start with 100 grams of whole wheat flour. So as you can see there, I use No Name. If you put it through an app that will like tell you if there's harmful additives and stuff, No Name actually comes up really well, scores high. So that's what I like to use, and it's cheap and it's affordable. So we're just gonna get some flour. It's okay if it's not quite 100% because it's not the main priority, is to make sure that your ingredients are exactly what the recipe says for feeding. So we're gonna put this amount of flour into our jar, and I'm at 97. So I'm not gonna go and make sure that it's exactly 100. I'm just gonna press tare. 0. And I like to use warm water. I generally do this when I've made my coffee in the morning so that I already have warm water. I just made one, so this is a little too hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some filtered water that's room temperature, and I'm just going to add a little bit to bring that temperature down. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So 97 was the amount of flour that we put in. Now we're going to add 97 grams of water. 93. There we go. Now, all we're going to do is give it a really good mix. I don't know if any of you were like into playing with Play-Doh or like mud pies when you were kids, but sourdough is kind of the adult version of that because it's, I don't know, it's a little messy, especially when you start baking with it. It gets all over your hands and all this other stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna make sure all that flour is mixed well with the water. And like I said, guys, like there's not as many rules as the internet's made this out to be. But I want to be very clear when I say that, like, these are my opinions on it. Like, it's totally fine if you want to follow your favorite person and do it a certain way that they do it, but I just don't think all that's necessary. These things used to survive on the backs of wagons. That was long before, like, having a filtered water system and a scheduled feeding every day. Like, it's not as complicated. So something important that I find is just to make sure that you scrape your edges down once you're done mixing. And to get your sourdough starter going so that you can use it, it's about a 5 to 7 day process. So this is just day 1. I also like to scrape as much back into the starter as I can. This stuff is a pain in the butt to clean when it is dry. There we go. No, I missed some on the sides. Forgot my own rule there. There we go. And I will show you the consistency. That's day 1. So we're just going to put a lid on it, let it sit somewhere, and we'll come back day 2. So here we are on day 2 of making a sourdough starter. This has sat for 24 hours. What we're going to do is just discard half. For the first week, your discard is not usable because you're busy building up your biome. Yeah, we just want to discard half. There we go. Coming back in with our scale. Remember, we want to make sure it's at 0 when we start. Good. Whole wheat flour again today. Hold on, I need a little thingy. Let's use this one. Remembering that exact numbers for feeds don't have to be what the recipe calls for. You just have to make sure that they're the same. So we're at 89. Tare down to 0. There we go. Give it a really good stir. We want to mix all that new stuff in with what was left over. All the way down to the bottom. It's a little messy. So then, remember, scrape your sides. Cover. And we'll be back on day 3. Okay, so it's day 3, and would you look at this growth? We've got bubbles, we've got it rising. That is fantastic. Starting to have a tangy smell as well. I don't know if you can see that, but that's exactly what we want. So we're gonna discard half, and as you can see, when I move in here, I don't know if you can really see, but there's starting to be cells, which is good. That means that we are active. You'll see this more as your starter gets stronger, but discard half. Oh yeah, look at those strings. That's what we want to see. So, thankfully, this is the last day that I'm going to use whole wheat flour because I don't have very much left. So, I'm going to go 64 today because that's all I have. Press tear. Perfect. And then just a really good stir. I want to get all that mixed down to the bottom. Smell is really starting to come along here, guys. And if you've ever had homemade sourdough versus from the store, then you're getting really excited at this point because you are getting closer to being able to bake with it. Good mix. Scrape everything down. And wait for it to double in size. We're on day 5 now. Look at that activity starting in there. That's what I like to see. All right, so let's get to it. So this is a pretty exciting day because we are moving on from our whole wheat flour into regular flour. I like to use all-purpose. So we're just going to discard half. Ish. Put ourselves on the scale here. Scale 0. Oh, I gotta refill my flour jar. $73 grams of flour. A good mix. And what I really like about day 5 is that we are getting nearly to the point where we can start using our discard, which is the most exciting part. There's so many things you can make with the discard. You can save it. You can start another one to give to your friend. There's hundreds and hundreds of recipes for you to use the discard. And all that means is that, you know how we double in size? It's after it's come back down. That's all it is. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing special. It's just been active. It's fed. And it's ready to work for you. All right. Let that sit. Let it double. And we'll be back tomorrow. I realized yesterday that I skipped from like day 3 to 5 or something. And that was because I kind of just left it for a day. And that's the thing, like you can. Like yesterday, I was super busy. I didn't have time. I got a ride into town. I did a bunch of errands. So I did not feed my sourdough starter. And that's fine because it still rose. You can kind of tell where it's cleaner here. And it fell. So now my starter is hungry and it's time to feed it. We're on day 7, which technically means that you would be able to start using it if the sourdough allows you. Sometimes it's not quite active enough. Sometimes it is. There's a test to do that. So once we feed it and it starts rising, all we have to do to make it so that like we know if it's active enough to use it, is you take a little bit of your starter and you put it in a bowl of water. And if it floats, then it's ready to use. That is called Levian, I believe. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty much done here. Like, now we just keep up with feedings. And like I said, it's okay if you miss a day. You can keep it in the fridge and just use it when you need it, or you can keep it on your counter. But if you keep it on your counter, like, I wouldn't go more than 2-3 days without feeding it. Like, if you don't think that you're going to be using it, just put it in your fridge and it'll be fine. Sometimes you'll find that there's a liquid on top. That's called hooch. That's perfectly normal, but if you start to see mold, then throw it away. Don't want to use that. Yeah. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this video, sourdough has become super overcomplicated. It's really not that hard. It's trial and error. Like, there's no learning without failure, in my opinion. But there you have it, guys. I know that personally, because obviously I'm off-grid, I'm not using an oven or anything like that right now. So I think the first thing that I'll probably make is some noodles. I'll just make some pasta noodles. And let me tell you guys, when you start using sourdough, the taste is phenomenal. It's not the sourdough that you buy from the store. It's something that you've created with your own two hands. You've put love into it. You care for it. It's a living organism. And it's just like good to know what your ingredients are. I've got tons of recipes, and as time goes on, I'm sure that I'll make videos about how to make bread and how to make noodles and how to make pizza dough and, you know, like all the things that I often use. But go on Pinterest. Find your favorite recipes. Maybe one of them won't work. I've had lots of trial and errors in the four years now that I've been doing sourdough. Not everything's a win, but thankfully flour's cheap. So, here you go. Day 7. We have a sourdough that you can start using. So, all that you would do is do your feeds, use your discard, find discard recipes, write down your favorites, share it with your friends. Like, it's truly something that's been lost. Bread at the grocery store has got to have, what, like 10 at least ingredients sitting in it. When you figure this out, you'll thank yourself for trying. All right, so thanks for watching this video. I'm clearly not very comfortable in front of the camera yet, but like everything else, it's a process, it's a curve. You're gonna find me getting better at it. You're gonna find me wanting to be on here more, but I just wanted to share how to start this. So enjoy, good luck, and have fun. Don't take anything too seriously in life.